What up, everybody? Welcome to Keeping It 9450, Codename WBB. I'm Daniel Artest, your host. Got my brother, my ace boon from the other room, K.Dot. What's going on? A little early, so we ain't got the baritone brother's voice on right now, for now. What's going on with you, man?
Hey, yo, what up? What it is? What's poppin'? You already know how it is with me. Everything's all good.
Yes,
And
sir.
I'm excited for tonight because we have a very special guest, and I can't wait to speak to this special guest. And it's a special one tonight. So let's get it popping.
Yeah, definitely. This is Keeping It 9450, but we have a little side show called Chatting on Atlantic and everything. K.Dot, like, real quick, just give a minute before we invite the guest on to talk about what Chatting on Atlantic is real quick.
Yeah, so Chatting on Atlantic is a series that I'm doing in partnership with Nets Republic, and shout out to Nets Republic for sure because they've showed me a lot of love since I've been brought on as a WNBA content creator. And this series just details a lot of just different stories and backgrounds of prominent New York-based athletes and people of the WNBA and women's basketball community. And what I like to do with this particular series is I want to take you guys on a journey around the Barclays. And a lot of it just details life bringing, like upbringings and things that the guests would tell me from their perspective as we take a walk on Atlantic Avenue. This one, again, is going to be a special one, and the article is going to come out like directly after this live stream. Just check it out. Everything is on netsrepublic.com. Like I said, shout out to everybody that's on Nets Republic and everybody that shows love to me. Let's get it popping.
Definitely. And this guest that we have, I've known her since, I want to say I've known her for 10 years. And she's been getting buckets. I think she probably scored like 30,000 points in her life. Nah, but she recently just passed Lynn Stevenson as the all-time leading scorer in New York City public school basketball history, man and woman. That's a big moment right there. And the crazy thing is that she did it in only 3 years. First, I thought she did it in 4, but I was like, oh, snap, she really missed the COVID year. So she did it in 3 years. And she's currently in her season right now for Susan Wagner High School, averaging 44 points per game. You just say this is just laughable sometimes, man. But
Absolutely.
I want to welcome to the stage Nicole Melious. Nicole,
Hi.
welcome to Keeping It 9450, Codename WBB, Chatting on Atlantic. And yeah, what's going on? How you been? It's been a while actually. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
That's good. That's
Doing
good. I know you're having an amazing season so far. Tell us about it, everything that you've been doing, getting a lot of buckets, and it's been amazing to see it on the social media and everything. Every time I look at the news that you update with, it's like, all right, 40 here, 50, then you got a 60 game. Then you just had 56 the other day, yesterday, on your senior night and stuff. So yeah, tell us about how you been. What's going on?
I've been doing well. I just got my 3,000 points against Tottenville last week, I believe.
Yeah. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. So that was good. And I got it in like the last 4 minutes of the game. And I was 18 away with the last 4 minutes of the game, which I thought was pretty crazy.
That is crazy. That is crazy. Oh my God.
Like when you get in that zone, because like you definitely have one of the like quickest releases I've seen on a play in a long time. So like when you get in that zone, how do you stay like mentally in that zone? And because it looks like you just been in it the entire season. So what's your process of always just being in that zone?
Honestly, I'm just locked in, and my teammates do help me.
Mhm.
Sometimes I start getting crazy. They're like, just calm down. You're good. I'm like, I'm good. But in those 4 minutes, I don't know if you know Ryan Wilkerson, but she was like, you're good. You're going to get it. She was like, if anyone could do it, it's you. And she was right.
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. Kata, I know this is your thing right here, so I'm gonna let you like handle little questions and stuff. So for Chatting on Atlantic, go ahead, man. Let's get it. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, I mean, first off, it's an incredible honor to have this conversation with you, Nicole, and obviously big fan of yours. And of course, any mentee of DA is a mentee of mine as well. And we've talked offline and everything. And I'm just really excited for you and what you're doing so far and what you're going to be doing in the future. But I do want to take it back a little bit. So let's go back in time. And as we go through your journey in basketball, can you tell me the first thing that inspired you to start playing basketball and how did you get involved with the sport?
My dad used to coach a high school when I was younger, so he just put me into it. And around like 6th grade, like I started actually becoming really good. So that kind of inspired me to get even better.
That's awesome. And I know that in that particular moment, like with your dad, and shout out to your dad, by the way. We have conversations as well. I do wanna ask this because I'm a dad as well. And sometimes I can get into the habit of trying to get my son to be that guy in basketball, be that guy in hockey, be that whatever sport he desires. So, was it a case with your dad where it was like natural for you because he was a coach? Or was it just a case where he was like, listen, I mean, whatever sport you play, you're going to be great at. But if it's going to be any sport, it's going to be basketball. So, what was that process like in that relationship with your dad when you first, fell in love with the game?
I did other sports too, but that was the only sport I was good at. Like, I did karate, but I was not good at that. And my father was certainly not a good basketball player. He was not good. Don't let him tell you otherwise. He was terrible. But I hear he was a good coach. So he did just put me in the sport, and then I did end up becoming really good at it. And he took me to a bunch of training, so that helped.
Why you gonna do your father like that? Yeah, shout out to Dan, man. Don't do him like that.
Listen, he was pretty brutal.
I bet. Then that's
Still is.
yeah, I know, and that's why you're the player you are today and stuff. That's
Yes.
why you have the record. Like, how does it feel to have that record anyway? Like, what goes on? Because I know that you took it from Kyle as far as Staten Island, and then now what you have, you're the only one to score over 3,000 points in New York City public school basketball history, male and female. That's a lot of players. That's Sebastian Telfair,
Yes.
Lance Stevenson, Stephon Marbury. Oh my God, Epiphany Prince, who scored 113 points in the game. So, like, how does it feel to actually have the record?
It honestly feels really amazing, and especially since I looked up to Kyle ever since I was a little girl. I feel like
Mhm.
passing him was definitely like a big moment in my life.
Yeah, definitely. And I also know that you're cool with the Mabry family and stuff, with
Yes.
Dara and Marina. How have they inspired you as well, just being a young lady in this game and watching them do their thing? Because us here at the 9450, we love the Mabry sisters, man. They put in that work, and we definitely love Marina because her attitude. So how do they inspire you?
I definitely I trained with them a lot when I was younger, and I feel like being around like intensity and like seeing what, especially what Marina's been doing and the money that she's making, I feel like it's definitely inspired me to try to get to the next level after college.
Yeah, definitely. Yep, and you are committed to go to LaSalle next year. Like, how did that come about? Because I know that you was committed to Georgia Tech, but I know that also a lot of other things came about. So what made you decide to go to LaSalle? Because you could have just went to Wagner on the Island. You could have just stayed home. So
Close.
that's too close. I
That's too
told you,
close.
K.Dot. I told
That's
you.
too close.
Yeah,
I went to LaSalle.
yeah.
So you're gonna
No,
ask
go.
why I went to
Yeah,
LaSalle? Okay,
yeah.
because I wanted to stay closer to home, and because the coaches, they're great people. Very,
No,
and I feel like that's important,
yeah, that's
especially
cool.
when you go to college. You need people that are gonna do right by you.
Yeah. Was it tough to decommit from Georgia Tech? To be honest, was it tough?
I mean, at first I was like, I don't know, but then honestly, no. The coaches, they're great people there too, but
Yeah,
I feel like I had to follow my heart and my gut, and I had to do what was best for me.
yeah.
And I don't think what's doing best for you should be hard.
I like that answer.
That's definitely going on. That's a quotable right there.
Yeah, that's a
That's
quotable.
definitely a quotable right there. I love it.
Yeah.
Besides, of course, the illustrious record, what else has been your favorite moment or achievement on the court so far in your throughout your high school basketball career? Because again, 3 years, right? 3 years, you had the COVID year, unfortunately, right? But for you to amass this great feat, that's certainly amazing. But besides that, what other moment has been a favorite of yours throughout your high school career?
Definitely making the Barclays Center championship game last year, and we hope to do that again this year. Even though we didn't win, it was a great experience.
Yeah. Oh, you talking about, yeah, the city championship. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that was tough, but, like, I seen, like, the shots that you was hitting was just crazy. Like, that release of yours is dangerous, man. They can't give you no space. That's gonna be my new name. I think I'm gonna call you No Space from now on. Because they can't do it. They can't do it. So, as far as being a student athlete and everything, and the way you work so hard, you put in a lot of hours to become a great basketball player. Like, how you balance that, the academics with your commitment to your basketball?
Honestly, it's really not as hard as people think. Like, I'll get home from school if I have any homework, which I don't really have homework this year because I'm a senior, but last year I had a lot of work because junior year that's one of the toughest years of high school. I feel like last year it was somewhat stressful, but I got through it. And I am a good student. I have a 96 average this year. So I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah, that's
Awesome.
yeah, we love that. We love to know that stuff right there. Yeah, you did say something about your teammates when we first started the episode. Like, what role do your teammates play in your success on the court? And how do y'all work together as a team? Because I say that because like we know you averaging 44, you put up the lion's share of the points and stuff, they rely on you and everything. But it also seems at the same time like there's no jealousy or animosity between y'all. Like, tell us more about the role that your teammates play in your life.
Definitely, they definitely support all of my teammates, and everyone is definitely happy for me, especially when I get double or triple team. They know how to get me the ball. Like, they know when and where how to set me up and everything. And we have another girl on our team, Samantha Harrell, who's averaging about like 15 points a game. And then we have Sanaya, who's averaging about 10 assists.
Oh,
I
okay.
feel like it all plays into our record.
Yeah. Go ahead, get it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so as far as that is concerned, do you think, or if you do have any, what challenges have you faced in your high school basketball career? And within those challenges, how were you able to overcome those if you did have any challenges, or if you felt like you had any challenges in your high school career?
Like you said, I lost the COVID year, sophomore year. We lost the year to play. And I feel like that could have been a game changer in records and points. Maybe I could have got 4,000. Who knows? But I feel like that was definitely a challenge because we didn't know if I was even gonna get 2,000, if I was even gonna break any Kyle's record, but nobody knew that. I feel like I did that regardless of the adversity, which I feel like was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And just to expound on that, because a lot of what had been going on during COVID, right, was the idea in vulnerability of painting your mental health. So as a high school student, these are some of the most precious years of your life. How were you able from that COVID year to gain your mental stability and able to grow actually from the whole pandemic and in the way that everything had been going on at that particular time? So how were you able to mature as a person throughout that over year?
I feel like I had a lot of more time, like, to myself, which I could reflect on my actions and everything else. So I feel like I had a lot of time to change my personality a little bit, mature. And I also still got out of the house. I used to run all the time with Sinai Wilkerson's dad is Dean Wilkerson, and we still used to train. We used to find courts that still had hoops up, that still had rims up, and then when that would get taken down, we would go to another one. And we did that all throughout COVID until things started opening back up. So I feel like I still, like, stayed in, like, somewhat normal routine.
Yeah, I forgot New York. Yeah, New York City was tripping when they took down all the rims.
Yeah, they took down all the rims. They would, like,
Yeah,
close off the gates, but we found a couple parks that didn't.
yeah. Down here, they didn't do that because I live in South Carolina. They didn't do that
They
down
didn't do
here.
that? That was OD.
No, yeah, it was. She said, "So I miss AK. We get excited when we hear the New York slang, man. We
Hey,
don't hear it. We don't hear it. So, like another thing about motivate, like staying motivated, staying focused. We know that you work hard, and your dad, like you said, is brutal on you on training. Also, Mark Williams too. Shout outs to Team Footprints and everything. Like, how do you get through those tough practices and even tough games and everything? How do you get through it?
Honestly, I feel like I'm used to it. I feel like I had to get used to it from a young age because I played 17U as, like, as a 14 years old. So I feel like I had to mentally mature to be in tough
Yeah.
situations.
Mm. Go ahead, get it.
yeah. And I think that with that being said, staying motivated and staying focused, and as you again talking about the maturity, right? So, what if we were to have a clinic or a camp and I were to bring you on and you have all of these kids that look up to you? What advice would you have for like the young ball players to looking to improve their skills and everything to succeed on a high school level? Like, what would you tell them as motivation?
That they need to do what's best for them. I feel like not everyone can put in that much work and be mentally okay. I feel like if it's not for you, then you shouldn't do it. But I feel like you should work hard towards whatever goals that you have and don't give up.
Oh man, wise,
And
very wise.
speaking of goals, like what are your goals for the future, whether it's basketball or even beyond basketball? We cover women's basketball from college. Obviously, you're our first actual, our first high school guest, so that's pretty cool. And we also
Mhm.
cover the WNBA. So, what's your goals with basketball and beyond?
Definitely to get past the college level, definitely to go play overseas somewhere and keep my career going as long as I can.
Yeah, that's what's up. What country would you like to play in? If you just had a favorite place, where would you like to go?
Greece or Italy. I've
Greece and
always wanted
Italy.
to go there. I've always wanted to go there.
I like that. My first job was in Greece actually.
Oh,
I played in
really?
this yeah, I played in a city called Aglyfada, which is like a suburb of Athens, actually. Yeah, you would definitely love Greece. So they have amazing food, amazing people. A lot of people in New York City too as well live in Greece, but believe it or not, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of people. Go ahead, Kato.
That's yeah. In addition to like you being a role model, so how about your role models in your life, and who were they, and any of your mentors in the sport that have made a major influence on your career?
So there's definitely two people. For one, Candice Palacio, that's the reason I wear number 10. That was one of my first female trainers, one of my first ever trainers growing up. And I looked up to her ever since. She doesn't play basketball anymore. She's a nurse, but she did go overseas for a couple of years and she played at Hofstra.
That's
And then
that's
the
good.
other one is one of my trainers, Matt Reeves. I feel like he's definitely helped me mentally. And I feel like if he never helped me mentally, I wouldn't be where I am today. Because I feel like people forget about the mental aspect of the game, but I feel like the mental aspect is everything. And I feel like he definitely helped me with that a lot.
Like when you talk about the mental aspects part of the training, like what, give us an example of what the gems and knowledge that he gave to you.
You wanna know, like, some of the knowledge or, like, what we did?
Which I did, yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Not everything, because we don't want to give away everything and
Okay,
stuff
I
like
got
that.
you.
Just
Like, after trainings, like, we would go into what he would call the think room, and we would sit there and talk, like, a bunch of the kids that trained about just, like, life, not even about the sport, about life. Because I feel like outside obstacles can definitely get in the way of your sports performance, and I feel like we definitely discussed all of that stuff, and I feel like it's definitely helped me, especially keep my composure on the court when things go wrong, or just with anything.
yeah, yeah, obviously that, and that's a great thing to have. I never really heard anybody that really has
Um,
a mental culture in basketball. That's actually pretty interesting. Okay, cool. You got a nice platform and stuff as a high school athlete. Like, how do you use it to get back to your community out there in Staten Island? How you inspire others? Because I know there's a lot of people that love you. We've seen the video of you signing shoes and everything after you had a big game that kind of went viral on the social media and stuff.
Yes.
So, like, how you use your platform to inspire everybody?
I try to, like, volunteer, like, working with younger kids, like, a lot, like, in my old parish, I do that, or I try to promote, like, other basketball stuff of myself, maybe to inspire other younger kids too.
Okay, go ahead, Kato.
Yeah, and just to again to expound on that, we know that NIL is like super like prominent now, and just like how you said using your platform, how do you think when you move to that next level, how do you think NIL will be prevalent to you coming into your freshman year? And if there are any opportunities that you have now, like what type of opportunities have been presented to you, or what type of opportunities would you like to be presented to you as you represent LaSalle going into your year?
Honestly, I don't really know what I would wanna represent, but definitely, I always drink Ghost energy drinks, so I would definitely represent that. But Mula Kicks has put me in their shoes, they take pictures of me, they're trying to get a video of me working out. It's not really like NIL, like, paying deal, but maybe
Uh-huh.
it could be once I get to the collegiate level. Who knows? But I feel like I like what they stand for. It's women's basketball, try to promote it, which I think is a very good thing.
That's
Yeah,
what's up.
yeah, that's pretty. Shout out to Moolah Kicks. They have some nice shoes too as well. I wish they made them in my size 17 so I could wear some. But I like the designs. I like they got this
Yes,
one with
they're very
like a
nice.
yeah, they got like one with a cheetah print, green color and stuff. So I really like those. And our final question is obviously we know the answer, but I still got to ask you anyway. What do you hope to achieve during your final year of high school basketball?
And it's just come to get back to the Barclays Center and the city championship and hopefully win.
Yes.
That's what's up. Now, I do have a bonus question.
Okay.
I ask our guests this every time.
Okay.
I'm a big kicks guy. Like I love
Shoes.
sneakers. So I need to know. Let me see. Do I want to do top 3 or top 5? Because I feel like top 3 is much tougher. So what would you say be your, let's say, your top 5 sneakers to hoop in?
Who okay, one is my KD 13s, that's what I always wear. I've been wearing them for
Mm,
3 years, just different colors. And I honestly, I don't really like any of the shoes. The Kyries, they give me blisters. I don't like them. I like LeBron's too now, I'll put LeBron's second. LeBron's are second. I
have
like
you ever,
LeBron's.
so do you have the LeBron 20s?
I have big pink ones. I don't know, the pink and green, I don't know which ones they are. They look
Oh,
pretty.
those are the 15s. I know what those are. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, the
I know, you know what
15.
I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Yeah, I have them,
Yeah.
but the
I know what
KDs are
you're
my
saying.
favorite.
Yeah. All right. So
Alright.
what else do you like? So you said KD's, you got LeBron's. Well, give me 3 more.
Okay, but I wear Jordans, but not to play in, just to go out.
Okay. All right.
All right,
Let's take
so let's mix it up. So your hooping joints, right? Or your KDs and your LeBrons. So if you were to go out and you on the block, you
Wearing
chilling.
Jordans.
So what we doing? What type of retros we rocking?
I have the ones. I like the Air Jordan ones, the high tops, never lows. I am getting a pair of lows. My first pair of lows. I like high tops.
All right.
I know my
You
mom
have
is watching this. She's getting me 2 more pairs. That I'm gonna get.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, because you always gotta wear your high tops, your high
Yeah.
top Jordan ones, man. Like I'm sad you're getting the lows, but all right, we'll let you get a pass on
See,
the lows.
it's only one. It's only one pair.
Listen, all right. Full transparency. I got a pair of lows and they're mad comfortable. And I'm only wearing them when they're like, I'll probably throw a suit on with those because
Yeah, that's what I'm
it's
saying.
the
Like, you have to wear long pants with them.
yeah, like
You
I'm
can't just wear shorts with the lows. You look stupid.
so the colorway that I just copped were they're like the crimson, silver, and white joints. And as a matter of fact, it's the colorway that North Carolina Central, shout out to Lavelle Moulton out of North Carolina Central, it's their colors. I felt those were some pretty dope sneakers. Just to cop, just to be casual in. Just cop those. But yeah, I'm a huge Jordan guy as well. I always talk about the 11s. VA know I love the 11. But yeah, I just wanted to know that. And then another bonus question, can't leave without asking you, if you will, let me get your top 5 WNBA players all time.
Ooh,
I like Diana Taurasi,
Okay.
okay.
Sue Bird,
Okay.
Brittany Griner,
Okay.
Okay.
Brianna Stewart.
Okay.
I'll put Marina Mabrey in there.
Mm,
Hey.
we like that one. Let's cash out on that one right there. There we go. So how do you feel about Brianna Stewart coming to New York though?
I know, I saw that.
Yeah, how
I
you
feel like
feel
that's
about it?
great.
Yeah, I feel like
I'm
you
definitely gonna
feel
go to the
like
game now.
yeah. Come on. That's hilarious. That's hilarious right there, man. But yeah, I understand and stuff. You got Sabrina, Louis,
Oh, I forgot about Sabrina.
Jonquel. Yeah, they got a
Yep,
nice team now. They got a
Jonquel,
nice team now.
Benaja, KT. They just signed Epiphany Prince to a training camp deal. Hopefully that goes well for Piff because I'm gonna be honest with you, DA. When Piff left and she went to Seattle, I wasn't liking that move too much. I wasn't rocking with Seattle for a long time. But she's back home. She's back
Yeah,
home. So, I
definitely.
gotta rock. Shout out to Piff, by the way.
Most definitely. Nicole, thank you for joining us.
You're
We
welcome. Thanks
appreciate
for
we
having me.
appreciate yeah, definitely. We appreciate you tapping in with us. And just let everybody know where they can reach you at on social media before you get out of here.
My Instagram, my Twitter are both my first and last name.
All right. You see it right there on the screen. That's Nicole Melious. NICOLEMELIOUS right there. All right. So with that being said, thank you for tapping in with us, and we'll see you on the flip. Good luck the rest of your season.
Yes. Bye-bye.
All
All
right.
right, peace.
Bye-bye. Peace. Yeah, that was pretty fun show, brother K.Dot, man. What's your thoughts, man?
Absolutely. Nicole is such an incredible person, incredible ball player, and really just enjoyed the conversation. And again, we talk about like the maturity of a lot of these young athletes, and really warms my heart to know that she has a goal and she's very focused. And shout out to the 96 average, great average,
Yeah,
as a
definitely.
senior, because I know between junior and senior year, those are obviously the most important years of your high school career. The average of 96, that's incredible. I wish her nothing but great success as she continues her career. And I think she's gonna be talked about a lot on ESPN, to be honest with you. I'm gonna throw it out there right now. I'm gonna manifest it for her right now. We're gonna hear a lot about Nicole Melious in the future.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Like I said, I've known her for like over 10 years, and she's an amazing player. She been putting points up like that since she was a kid. So to see her doing it now is it's like nothing new, really. That's why I always be telling you, like, hey, yeah, she did this, she did that. So it's just nothing. Like she's been like that. And I know she got a baby sister that plays too as well. Shout outs to the family, shout outs to Dan and everybody over there in that household. Shout outs to the whole Staten Island. So let's move on real quick, K.Dot, before we go. We gotta talk a little bit of WNBA, some women's college basketball and everything. What's going on, K.Dot? Like, what's going on? I was in the Aces, the press conference, and oh man, it was crazy, K.Dot. Like, the Aces completely, that's why I had to preface my words real quick. That's why I had to pause for a minute. The Aces completely fumbled that. You know what? And I felt like the media that had the opportunity to ask questions definitely fumbled that too as well. because they had the opportunity to talk about the situation that's going on with De'Arica Hamby, and they fumbled it. And you know how we are, man. Like we would love to hear those questions and stuff because the stuff that's going on is a unfortunate situation and stuff. And obviously, like the Aces, they're not going to really. They hope that nobody asks those type of questions as far as like workplace discrimination. But I thought that the media should have asked the question. It was 70. And first of all, it was just a weird interview type of thing anyway. And unfortunate, obviously, it was Candace Parker's introductory press conference and stuff. But I think that everybody says they want to grow the game. Everybody says protect women, protect Black women. And I felt like that them media people that didn't ask the question, it was only one. That was crazy. We'll get to that. Well, the people that had an opportunity to ask questions really didn't ask those type of questions. Because, obviously the questions was done with Candace Parker talking about how's your fit with Las Vegas and the basic Candace Parker questions. And then it should have been addressed because there was a lot of those media that was in there that was talking about when Candace Parker first signed K.Dot that, oh my God, I want to be excited about this. But there's an issue going on with De'Arica Hamby that makes me want to be on pause about celebrating Candace Parker going to the Las Vegas Aces. Those same people, when they was able to ask the question, they're gone. It wasn't there and stuff. And I know that people probably want to see this, and I really don't care. I just wish that a lot of y'all people that get those media opportunities to stop covering the game with kid gloves. That's how I feel. And stop covering the game with kid gloves. Ask the questions. Put pressure on these organizations to support Black women that's pregnant. And because it seemed like it was a workplace discrimination, K.Dot. And like we said on the previous podcast episode, we are in support of De'Arica Hamby. And that's just what it is. So what's your thoughts on that whole type of situation? I know you wasn't there, but I know obviously you connected in a certain type of things. So like from what you heard, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, so the situation in Las Vegas, of course, first off, it is a very unfortunate situation. And my thing about this entire situation is, to me, could have been either absolved or resolved by just making a statement. And I know that there's an investigation pending or investigation going on. Don't, if you feel like you're not guilty of anything, then the source of the matter should be addressed front and center. Be very transparent. And it seemed like the organization wasn't transparent. And obviously, they came out with a statement earlier today regarding the issue, and they said exactly what everybody was saying. Make the statement of it's a pending investigation, and we don't have any comments at this time. We're going to allow the process to take place, and we'll go from there. And it's funny how organizations that actually have the sources to provide certain players, right, that eventually stuff like this happens, right? And you know, Vegas isn't the only organization that has been through something similar from a question of ethics standpoint. There were a few cases with other. There was a case in Atlanta that we felt like wasn't fully addressed. There was a case in New York that wasn't fully addressed. I feel like just as a whole, a lot of these organizations just it's almost like they hope and pray that it's talked about and then it washes away. But these are really serious situations. And again, we're talking about ethical or unethical business practices when we're talking about certain things. And again, if you're not addressing them upfront and being transparent about it, then you're going to have certain media that is actually that has actually tried to do or attempt to do any type of due diligence to try to shed some light on the matter. And there are a lot of our media, I would say media colleagues that could have done better as far as trying to gauge some information because everybody wants to know the truth. And there's my mom and my grandmother always will tell me there's three sides to a story. There's one truth, there's two truth, and then there's the actual truth. The only thing that I have to say in regards to this situation is transparency is definitely key. And again, from situations that you when you're bringing in people, right? It's so unfortunate that some people get caught in the crossfires of things that someone else has done and that someone else hadn't even addressed it, right? And you're forcing hands on making someone who had no affiliation with the situation to try to answer questions that they really don't actually know how to answer at that particular point, because everything is so hush. Everything is so let's just try to make it go away type situation. So I think that within this situation at hand, again, transparency needed to be present. And I felt like it wasn't. And again, they mentioned today that there is a ongoing investigation. And at this point, we wouldn't have no comment, and we're going to let whatever the protocols of the actual situation prevail itself. So that's how I feel about it. And again, with us having to talk about this, it's very unfortunate that we have to talk about it. And there's going to be feel like there's probably going to be more inquiries with the other team that actually that's sitting on top of my head right now, to be honest with you. A lot of questions are going to be asked about circumventing cap space, right? There's going to be a lot of questions about how certain teams were able to do certain things, right? So this again is a league issue, right? We talked about it over and over again, how they have a hard cap, how certain things within the CBA, why weren't they reviewed thoroughly before signing it? Because obviously what we're talking about now is something that was a CBA violation, or what's alleged to be a CBA violation. And my thing is we have to go back to what was said at the negotiating table and how quick it was for the WNBPA to sign it, and how quickly the owners on the other side was able to accept it. And this just goes to the overarching issue of the business within the WNBA. And it's crazy how we have to talk about it in this manner, because from a business standpoint, everybody thinks that it's is a cut and dry type situation. But it really isn't. Like, you have to go through the intricacies of business and how negotiations are dealt. You have to go by certain protocols on what the owners want versus what the players want. That's why a union has been created. It's again one of those situations where it's like you don't want to see it, but until we have some type of medium and a good resolution to it, it's always going to be at the forefront, especially for fans who really are invested into women's basketball, more importantly, the WNBA. And we're just going to keep talking about it.
Yeah, we have to. So there was a crazy moment during that press conference. And I'm mad that I don't know this reporter's name. It's actually how complicated to even say the person's name. So I totally forgot. So somebody did ask about the whole Dearica Hamby situation. And the moderator of the press conference was like, yeah, Nikki Fargas had to step out. So we're not going to take that question. Nikki Fargas had to step out. But then when you look at the overall part of the Zoom call, she's right there. She didn't step out. She's right there. You can see her clear as day. So for them to do that, a simple no comment because of the severity of the situation, no comment. Totally cool with that. So it's on both sides, with the media not asking the questions, or certain media not asking the question, and also the Las Vegas Aces side looking like guilty. Now, the whole circumventing of the salary cap to get these players more money, I could care less, K.Dot. I could care less. Pay these players more. Let these owners do what they got to do to pay these players more, and you don't get situations like this. Now, obviously, if everything come out the way it's supposed to come out with the certain circumventing of the cap, obviously we know that the Aces is going to get in trouble. But as understandably, I'm not going to be like, oh, snap, they should be in trouble because of that, because you got to pay these players more. Obviously, you got the owners. You got Mark Davis. You got Joe Tsai, and then now you got the new guy from that just brought the Phoenix Suns and the Phoenix Mercury. I don't want to say his name wrong. I think his name is Matt Ishibia. And so you got these billionaires that's coming into women's basketball now that want to give them the chartered flights, that want to give them the millions of dollars, but it's the salary, it's the other owners. I'm not going to say broke owners because they all millionaires and stuff, but they millionaires. That's the issue right there, K.Dot. They're not billionaires, they're millionaires. And that is why these players is not being paid as much. That's why I even said, I think that a lot of these billionaires should get involved more and be like, hey, let's make them an offer that it can't refuse, except for the Seattle Storm. The Seattle Storm has a $151 million valuation, bro. I seen it today. I was
Yep.
like,
Yep.
dang. See, look, it's there, K.Dot. The
Yeah.
money is there. The money is there. The WNBA players are really going to have to sit back and opt out early and get what they deserve. I'm telling you, even if that means they gotta lose some games, even if they have to, they're gonna have to sit out and really hold that line and get exactly what they deserve. And I feel like they got those billionaire owners now that's gonna have their back. I really feel like I feel like they're gonna have their back on this. So if that means getting some, I wouldn't even mind if billionaires own a couple of teams. Because I remember when I was playing semi-pro basketball, it was this league called the Premier Basketball League. They had these billionaires. They were like pharmaceutical guys. They paid the whole league, everybody's salary. It was crazy. And then like obviously when one one owner of the a team was like hating because I guess the owners of they owned the league and they owned the team too. So it was like kind of conflict of interest. And then they just broke it up and then everybody just teams just went broke. Now you playing for $200-300 a game
Wow.
instead of $200-300 a game in minor league basketball is like D League at that time. So it's not that bad, but we was actually making more 2006 and stuff. That's why I came back stateside to play. If I could make the same amount I was making overseas, then I'm coming back and I could be close to my family and friends and stuff. That's what I did. But like, it got to be some drastic changing going on in the WNBA. It is right there. Even though we laugh about the $75 million that we don't know where everything is going and stuff, somebody, a group of people donated 75 million because they believe in the product of women's basketball. So it's there, Kate. So
Yeah.
that whole salary cap situation, like, if Vegas is probably going to get in trouble, but I understand why Vegas did what they did allegedly, and I understand why the players would take that and stuff. Is it a conflict of interest? Look at what the Phoenix Mercury is doing with Sophie Cunningham. Now she's calling Phoenix Suns games. Could that be a conflict of interest? So to pay her more money or whatever. I don't know, K.Dot, but I understand why they would circumvent the salary cap and stuff. And where I want to know who's the whistleblower on that too. Stop hating. Stop hating. Who's the whistleblower, first of all? First, you got a media member hater whistleblowing about the chartered flights for the Liberty and stuff nobody knew or whatever. Stop hating. Go
Yeah.
ahead, bro.
Listen, and I know I want to switch tones right quick,
Of course,
and
let's do it.
I want to go on a happier tone, but it still involves ownership, right?
Yeah.
So Larry Goddesdiener, who is principal owner for the Atlanta Dream, I got to give him a huge shout out. First off, I didn't even know he was following me, and he sent me a message. He sent me a reply tweet because I told him it was like an honor that he was following me, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm just an ordinary guy." Listen, Mr. Gottesdiener, nah,
Yeah.
you're not just an ordinary guy. That's just I respect the conglomerate when it comes to that. And he makes great points when he's explaining how to invest in his team. And I think that from an education standpoint, a lot of fans that even if they're not fans of the Atlanta Dream should follow him because he definitely drops great knowledge and great understanding of the actual product itself versus just being quiet and trying to collect checks from whatever the Atlanta Dream make profit off of. That's a very important and what I call an ally to the knowledge of the game and the knowledge of the business that you would definitely want to follow
Mhm.
because again, he's very transparent. He lets you know what's on his mind and how he thinks things can be worked out. And he's also very genuine to everything that he's doing because he also mentions what he tries to do in the situation that he has with the Atlanta Dream. And they've done really good job this offseason so far. Hopefully we can see some more moves being made, especially with the acquisition of Alicia Gray. I've already talked about how Alicia Gray and Ryan Howard is going to be the Tweety Nolan and Swing Cash back in the Detroit days was going to be trouble getting buckets on them, but they're going to turn right back around and put buckets on you. So I think that what Atlanta and what Mr. Gottesdiener has been doing has been great so far. I just wanted to give him a shout out regarding that.
And you forgot one major thing, Kate, and you got the Atlanta shirt on. I see what you're doing. You got the Atlanta hoodie on. Show me you got that's the Atlanta Dream hoodie. Yep, look at you. Kate
You
always
already, hey, listen, I rep the W at all costs. I rep the W at all costs.
Yes, yes, definitely. Me too. I got my hat over here, but I just got the neighborhood on today. And then there's one thing that you forgot, Kate, that Larry exposed about the WNBA and the NBA. That actually the NBA does not subsidize the WNBA. He said that in a tweet.
Right, is correct. That
So
is correct.
that's been
And that's major. That's major.
it's major because think about this. That's every idiot dude's talking point when it comes to women's basketball, the
Right.
WNBA. It's every dude's talking point. The NBA is subsidized by, the WNBA is subsidized by the NBA. A WNBA owner just said that ain't true. So have another thing to talk about. Just go back to the lower the rims stupid conversation, which is weird. I think that definitely is a breath of fresh air regarding women's basketball, especially from an ownership's perspective and stuff. And K.Dot, listen, real quick, we live on YouTube right now, and we got somebody on YouTube just spamming the comments, and I just want to give him a shout out, Kenzie Nichols. Thank you very much for all the love with your messages and stuff from all the comments. And yes, please keep on coming through and tapping in with us on these shows and stuff. We definitely appreciate you. We appreciate all our listeners. You've been vibing with us the entire episode from when we had Nicole on to now. This is episode 144, actually. Keep on coming back. And we just wanted to just say thank you very much. And don't forget to follow us on the 9450. That's on Twitter. So it's just basically simple at the 9450, all one word. Our Twitter handles is right here on the screen. So yeah, definitely tap in with us. We definitely love the support from the listeners and everything. But yeah, what else you want to talk about, K.Dot, before we go? I didn't really see no games really, but there's something I want to point out. I seen a block by Cameron Brink, K.Dot, today. Somebody posted it. It was a block shot. She didn't block the shot though, K.Dot. She said, let me hold that for a second. She snatched the ball out the air, bro, and helped. I was like, yo, Cameron Brink, K.Dot, you know what, K.Dot? I consider Cameron Brink a generational talent, bro. I'm sorry. I really do. And when she come out,
She mad. She mad from Sunday. She was upset. She was upset from Sunday. That's what it was. So every basketball that goes in the air, like if she's on defense, every basketball that goes in the air, she's let me get that.
Let me tell you why I like Cameron Brink, K.Dot, because when it comes to the Aaliyah Boston matchup as far as the post, she gives a lot of problems out because
of course.
she's so mobile, she can shoot, and she got that height. She every bit of that height.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's what makes Stanford so scary, even though they lost. That's what makes them scary because of Cameron Brink. If we being honest, K.Dot, when they matched up earlier in the season, if I wouldn't say if you want to blame somebody, but if you want to blame the game on somebody, if you want to throw the game, instead of giving them the game ball, just throw the game tomatoes at them. You just throw the game tomatoes at Cameron Brink because she fouled out.
Yeah,
she
fouled out.
In the game they win.
Yeah, she couldn't keep her feet on the ground.
Yeah.
Like it was almost like every shot she just wants to block. Like
yeah.
This is me, now it's K.Dot the trainer talking. Like from that perspective, you don't have to block everything.
Yeah.
Just stay vertical. Just stay vertical.
We call it the big hand syndrome.
Yeah.
Your presence alone it matters, you know? Now my hand's as big as hell on the screen, by the way.
Yeah, but you're absolutely right. Your presence matter regardless. You don't have to block everything. You're already a specimen at the rim, and they're already thinking about how they're going to try to score over you. So you don't have to jump for everything. Verticality is important.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be playing in important games, you can't continue to get in foul trouble as early as you get in foul trouble and make those silly mistakes. And I think it's Cameron Brink. Just like you said, arguably could be a generational talent. And I agree with that because she's such a great talent alone.
Yeah.
And I think that she has a bright future. But I think that from that standpoint, like all you have to do is just stay on the floor. Just stay on the floor.
Yeah, that's all she got to do. She's a bigger piece than I think Haley Jones now when I'm thinking about it and stuff. And there's something else that we got to talk about, K.Dot, regarding this upcoming draft. I'm starting to think that Haley Jones is not two anymore. I'm starting to think that might go to Diamond Miller. Yeah, man. Only because it is. I did not know that Haley Jones, the great guard she is, she's only 3 for 28 from the three-point line this season. I think that she only made 23 threes in her career at Stanford, bro. I didn't know that. I'm thinking like, okay, she can shoot because I've seen her shoot jump shots and I've seen her make them. So I'm like, in this era of basketball and you can't shoot threes, that might be tough. Even though we know that she's I ain't gonna say jack of all trades, but a Jacqueline of all trades. I don't know.
My man said Jacqueline.
I coined that. Okay, I'm gonna put that on the shirt. Not for me, but I'm gonna make a ladies t-shirts for the ladies and Jacqueline of all trades. I don't know. Nah, but I feel like this draft, after we obviously know that Aaliyah's going one, and actually my stance actually changed. Cause remember how I was feeling about that, about Aaliyah going two because she fits Minnesota more. I feel like actually Minnesota should actually make that trade, try to go one, throw something at Indiana to try to go one. I feel like I like Queen Egbo and Alyssa Smith, that dynamic and stuff. I really do. I really do. I really do. Because Queen is a dope center, and I feel like I don't want her to go to the bench because she's going to go to the bench when Aaliyah goes to Indiana and stuff. I feel like that. But Haley Jones is going to be, that's tough. That's tough. Because she could do everything, but the shot got to get better. I didn't know that she was that bad from the perimeter and stuff. And then you see what Diamond Miller's doing to do everything forward as well. She hit 102 threes. You need shooting, K.Dot. This is a different era. And that's
Yeah.
when Cameron Brink come in next year, the 2024 draft or whatever. That's what, like, that draft is going to be crazy, man. I cannot wait for us to really touch it on that because that draft is going to be bugged out.
For real.
Yeah.
Just to switch gears right quick, we had an upset tonight. We had an upset tonight.
What's up?
Marquette 59, UConn 52.
Wow. You know what? I'm blaming that game on the fans of UConn. That's crazy.
UConn.
Wow.
So check this out. So UConn, this is the first time since 1993 that UConn has lost 2 straight.
Don Staley said they're the standard, bro. They are the standard. Do you want to get into Don Staley comments real quick?
Yeah, let's talk about that because there's those comments, and then there was a comment in regards to switching up the lineup. I wanted to just briefly talk about. Let's get into that.
All right. Before we get into that, I feel like Gino Auriemma was definitely talking about Don Staley. You didn't hear, I don't care. He said teams with a plural. I don't care. We know what he was talking about when he said that because he was talking about Lou Lopez getting hammered or whatever, which she did. Yes, we even talked about that on the previous podcast. But Gino, funny coach, man. That's all I got to say. He's a funny guy. He's a funny guy, man. And Don Staley had every right to respond like that. And then we see the fans like, what? And I'm just like, what? Don Staley protect her players and stuff. And I like that how Don Staley said she's not going to change her style of play. Now, you're going to talk about the lineup, but I like that she said that she's not going to change her style of play, even if every player fouls out. That's what the cloth that she's from.
Right.
She's Philly bred. And that's the cloth that's stitched in the fabric of that team.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
she's tough. But talk about the lineup change real quick. I think I know where you're going with this, and I think I know where you're going with this. What's up?
Yeah, so she mentioned there was a question that came up in one of her interviews where we talked about Kiera Fletcher only having 4 minutes and Raven playing 36 minutes, and if she thought that it would be a change in the lineup. And Don just straight up came out and shut it down immediately and said, listen, Kiera Fletcher has done her job throughout this season, and there's no way she's going to switch that up. And I respect that a lot because I myself was on the podcast the other day just talking about how even though I didn't think she would change the lineup, my personal opinion, no one else's, I felt like it was time for Raven to get in that spot, right? And I like that Don Staley said no. I just love that because just because one of my players had a phenomenal game and it was warranted, it was needed, especially from a confidence standpoint for her, she's not going to just all of a sudden switch it up just because one player had a great game. There's a balance to everything, and everything is on a game by game basis. In that particular game, Raven just had the keys to the car. That was it. Plain and simple. I'll give you a perfect example. We can go back to the Stanford game, and she brought in Raven early, and Raven struggled a little bit. She brought back in Kiera, and Kiera was able to hit some timely jump shots in that game. And I think that the formula that Coach Don Staley has, it's a perfect formula. And why change it? Just because you had a great situation that happened the game prior. You shouldn't. And she was in every right correct about that situation. And there was tons of interaction on Twitter talking about that because I mentioned it. And that is just so much great respect to the knowledge of what in the philosophies that Coach Don Staley has. I just wanted to mention that because that's very important, and especially for Kiera Fletcher's confidence. And she was the ultimate team player. She was She was talking to Raven, telling Raven certain rotations from a defensive standpoint, what to do and how to run the offense, man. She was just a great teammate. And again, that just goes back to the culture. When you have great culture, that's where winning is always going to be something supreme. That's all I wanted to say regarding that, because that was just like straight up, like I respected the hell out of that. And shout out to Coach Staley for that.
Yeah, that's what made Coach Taylor a great coach, man, because of how she gets the message out. I love how she holds players accountable. I love her as a
Right.
player development coach. I wish I could just sit in on a practice and watch, and not even a practice like on a training session. I want to see like her style because she just gets the best out of her players and stuff, man.
Absolutely.
And we're looking for. Listen, I know I feel bad that I'm overlooking the Auburn game, K.Dot. I really do. I feel bad, but you know what I want to see, K.Dot. You know what I
Oh,
want.
of
I
course. Of
want to see the
course.
matchup on Sunday, K.Dot, and the Super Bowl Sunday and stuff. And you know what? I'm not gonna be there live. I'm gonna be at the crib chilling, watching it. But it's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, I know how bad we both wanted to be there,
Yeah.
but you again, family obligations, man.
It's not that. It's the damn tickets, man. So I actually was gonna buy the tickets. So the general admission tickets had a nice price or whatever. But it's the dang fees, K-Dot. It's the other fees.
Oh, okay. I got you.
So
I
if
got
the general admission is $78 a ticket, right? So let's just say 80, because I don't know what 78 times 2 is. But 80
you.
80 times 2 is 160, so that's better for me. So
You
one
just
fifty
you
154 or 156 or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you're adding 2, just subtract 4 from the
Yeah, 156. So it's 156 for the tickets, and the fees was like 180 by itself.
Oh, geez.
So I was like, "Nah, I'm not doing that." 'Cause
And then not to
it's
mention
not do
taxes.
it was like almost 400 for 2 tickets and stuff. So I was just like, "Nah, I wanna see the game, but at the same time, I'm not paying for no dang fees." Because it was through it was like StubHub or
Oh,
something like that.
got
So,
got
yeah,
you.
I'm just gonna take my son on Saturday to see Charleston Southern's men's basketball team.
Yeah,
We're
I
gonna
had a
watch some
player.
basketball somehow.
Yeah, I had a player that was shout out to Charleston Southern. I wonder if my guy is still over there. Wonder if my guy is still over there. But shout out to Charleston Southern for sure.
Yeah. Oh, what else I wanted to talk about before we get out of here? I know it's something. I know I'm missing something. We talked about Cameron Brink. UConn lost. I wish I would have seen that. I didn't even know. I know that the timeline is probably in a frenzy right now with everybody. I wouldn't know because I unfollowed everybody. Because I'm getting tired of the toxic stuff that goes on with this thing, man. It's just not fun. And then Yumikata, I was trying to be like the liaison, the bridge and stuff to keep everybody together, but nah, stuff. I don't want to do that no more.
Hey,
So,
my grandma always say, man, you can't please everybody.
no, you definitely can't, bro. You definitely can't. I don't know why I'm blurry, but it's all good. But yeah. So fun episode, man. We had Nicole come on for the first half, and the second half we got into some women's basketball talk about the Aces issues that's going on with them. But before all right, we can do K-Dot. Let's get positive about the Aces real quick. They got Candace Parker, okay?
Yes,
And she's really looking forward to seeing how this whole team mesh in there. She get to play with Asia Wilson, as Asia Wilson's idol and stuff, Jackie Young.
absolutely.
Like, the Aces got a squad, bro. And then obviously we know we got the Liberty and stuff. I'm going to look at the other rosters from the team because I want to know who. Come on, it just can't be them two. I know for everybody is on a collision course, Kato, but I want to know, is there a team out there that can just muck it up? Get in there and be like, and cause some havoc for somebody. So I definitely got to look at these rosters and see what's really going on. Can Connecticut still be a pest and muck it up and everything? And we got to do winners or losers and stuff, man.
Oh yeah, that listen,
Chicago. Oh my God.
when we do the episode, it's gonna be bananas. I already have like a tier list,
Yeah.
but I know that if so you mentioned Connecticut that could possibly or could be a team that could muck it up. I'm gonna go out on a limb and like Kurt Miller just to me seemed like somebody that is let me play spoiler. The
Mm.
roster that they've built in LA, I think that it's pretty fair. Maybe we see them muck it up a little bit. So, who knows?
And what I ain't gonna front kid out because these are super teams. We got 2 super teams on the East Coast. In order for them to really muck it up, they're gonna have to shoot like 60%. They're gonna have to shoot 60% for an entire series because it's just the offensive firepower and stuff. And the fact that New York got both age, both Jonquel and Brianna Stewart, that's crazy. When you really think about it, that's crazy. And then Sloop come through, you know? And then
And
they
then
still got
you
Becky and
already have
Benijah.
Sabrina and Benijah. Like, that's crazy.
And then you got Kayla Thornton come off
And
the
then you got
bench.
Kayla Thornton. Oh my God. Like, seriously. Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously.
I
And
just
then
wish
on
I wish Marine, I don't know if she's gonna play this season. I really don't know if she's gonna play this season.
yeah, and
Because
then I was gonna mention on the Vegas side when you were talking about positivity, like Alicia Clark.
yes.
I am sad that they waived Ileana Ruper because I really liked Ileana Ruper, and they re-signed Kia Stokes. Maybe there's a lesser load from a responsibility standpoint that she
Yeah.
takes this year, and hopefully she continues to grow as a player. But yeah, just going back to the Liberty, like you said, man, with Maureen Johannes, and they're probably going to be some cuts, some unfortunate cuts
Yeah.
that's going to happen because they only have 4,000 left in the cap, because according to the numbers, they had about 364K to spend, and they've spent 360 of it already. That doesn't leave a lot of room for certain players that we like. So
Hey,
they're gonna
give us that 4,000. We'll take it. We'll definitely make some use of it. Come to some games and stuff, some fresh Liberty gear. Definitely use them 4 bands. Like, you're not going to give it to nobody. They're just going to sit there. So give it to some people. Give it to the 9450, man. We could definitely upgrade the upgrade the cameras.
That's a fact.
For real. Nah, but yeah. Hey, dope show though, K.Dot, man. We're gonna get on out of here. And it's late night, man. So we just gonna get out of here and stuff. And thank you for listening to Keep It at 9450, Codename WBB. Don't forget to follow us at the 9450 on Twitter. You can follow me at _Artest on Twitter as well. And you got K.Lou3H on Twitter as well. And with that being said, I'm Daniel Artest. K.Dot Kevin Lewis right there. We got Kenzie Nichols still here, K.Dot. Kenzie Nichols.
Shout out to Kenzie Nichols, man, for sure.
Follow us, man. Keep on supporting what we're doing. Thank you, man. I know this is like episode 145, season 3, episode 15. So yeah, keep rocking with us, Kenzie, man. Follow us on Instagram, on Twitter and everything. And we definitely be in touch with you and stuff. All right, that being said, love is love. Peace.
Peace out.